I'm Rob Cosman, your hand tool coach. Welcome to my shop. I think a hand plane is probably the most efficient tool I own. It's what everybody should have in their shop. And yet if you don't know how to sharpen it, it's absolutely useless. Now I've spent a lot of the last 25 years traveling the world teaching hand tool skills, and rarely do I find someone that knows how to sharpen properly. I'm a real fan of learning how to do it freehand. I think it's a skill that anyone can acquire. And being able to do it freehand is not only faster, but it's very satisfying. And it's another skill to add to your set or your kit of skills. I have developed a little thing we call training wheels. It's going to help you get success the first time you attempt, and it'll also help you develop the confidence to be able to eventually not use it and to be able to actually do this freehand. So I'm going to take you to the other end of the bench where my sharpening stones are, and I'm going to walk you through the process of how the RobCosman angle trainer will help you get that perfect edge the first time. First thing we have to do is keep our stones flat. I'm using these Sharpening stones. I have two, a coarse and a fine. And this is a diamond impregnated glass lapping plate. This is what keeps them flat. Flatter your stones, sharper you can get your tools. That's a simple rule that you just have to obey when it comes to sharpening any kind of a straight edge tool, like a chisel or a plane blade. Work this diamond impregnated glass lapping plate until the surface comes back to being white. Doesn't take very long. Alright, this is how I hold my blade. This is a 2 3/8 inch wide blade out of a number 4 or 5.5, pardon me, a 4.5, 5.5 or 6. I hold it like this with my right hand. I put my index finger from my left hand in the hole, and then I put 1, 2, 3 fingers out on the cutting edge. I move my fourth finger, my index finger, from my right hand to join them, and I keep them as close to the cutting edge as possible so I can distribute the pressure as evenly as possible. And you'll notice that my fingers hit the blade perpendicular as opposed to laying down flat. Much more sensitive, I think, up at the fingertip as opposed to the pad of the finger. Now, I squeeze my thumb on my right hand between my thumb on my left hand and my index finger on my left hand so that the two operate as one. I lock my wrist on my elbow and I pivot from my shoulder. I'm going to set the blade down on the primary bevel. That's that main bevel that comes off of the grinder, or the new bevel out of a brand new plane. Set it down there, and then raise it up about 4 degrees to create what we call a secondary bevel. And then a little circular motion, and I'll move out over the stone. Now this usually only takes anywhere from 7 to 10 seconds, or until I can detect a slight burr on the back side of the blade. And it's the burr that indicates that I've created a new cutting edge and I'm ready to move on to my final stone. Usually, rarely takes more than 10 seconds. Okay, as soon as you can feel the burr, verifying it goes corner to corner, I come over to my fine stone, set it down on that same primary bevel, but now I'm going to raise up a few degrees higher than the last stone. And I'll spend about 7 seconds on this, moving from one end of the stone to the other by just rocking heel and toe. And then at the end of it, I'm going to put downward pressure with one finger on one corner for 3 seconds, followed by downward pressure by the opposite finger on that corner for 3 seconds. Always keeping the blade fully engaged, but just feathering the outside corners ever so slightly to prevent the plane from digging in or leaving plane tracks on the wide board. The next thing I do, and the final step, is to take a thin steel rule, set it on the edge of the stone. This is employing the Charlesworth ruler trick. Flip the blade over, and then just spend about 3 seconds removing that burr that you would have felt on the back of that, on that little tiny back bevel that I created. And that's about a 30-second procedure, and that blade is sharp, ready to go, and will easily take half thou shavings off of hard maple. But if you're doing this for the first time, how are you going to hold those angles and how will you know? Well, that's where we introduce our little device called the angle trainer. You'll notice on one side it has a 29-degree angle, and on the other side it has a 31. It's made of a composite material, doesn't wear very quickly, and what we're going to do is show you exactly how to use it. So the first thing I need to do is wet the surface of this stone. I'm in here with the lapping plate, bring it back to being white. I'll do the finished stone at the same time. Set the angle trainer down on the coarse stone, 29 degree. Make sure there isn't any debris underneath it. Hold the blade the same way you would if you were doing it freehand. 4 fingers out on the cutting edge. Engage the magnets and slide the blade forward until it touches the stone. And there, the angle trainer is going to hold that 29-degree angle for you. And then moving forward and back on the stone, same 10 seconds. Do that until you can detect a slight burr on the back side. Keep the stone wet, that'll lubricate it and make it easier for both the blade to move over the stone and also the angle trainer. You can do circles if you want, or forward and back, whatever you find easier. Once you can detect the burr, remove the angle trainer, go over to your final stone, turn the angle trainer around so that this time you're working on the 31-degree side. Set that on the fine stone, hold the blade the same way, engage the magnets, and as you slide it forward and the blade touches the full length, forward and back, 7 to 10 seconds. Again, you can do circles, you can go forward and back, whatever you find easier to do. At the end of it, you're going to put downward pressure with one finger for 3 seconds on the corner, and then downward pressure in the opposite corner with what would be my pinky finger for 3 seconds. Remove the angle trainer, take your steel rule, put it on the edge of the stone, flip the blade over on its back, spend 3 seconds getting rid of that burr off the back bevel, and that's all there is to it. That's how fast you can sharpen a plane blade and have it ready to use. Take it over to the bench, put it in the plane, I'll show you proof of what we've done. Make sure all the moisture is off of that blade. You don't want any rust. Now this is a new chip breaker that we've manufactured that will allow you to put an extra thick blade in an old Stanley plane. More about that in the future. You've got to take the screw out in order to assemble the two. It's a minor inconvenience for a major gain. I've got that to within about a 1/16 of an inch of the edge. Tighten that screw up good and snug. Make sure that there isn't any debris on the face of the frog. Put that in place. Set the lever cap on. Now tight down the sole. Get the blade parallel to the sole. And then I like to retract the blades so that I'm never starting with the blade out and then determining down. A little wax in the sole to reduce the friction. And then while planing, you start to advance the blade by turning the adjuster knob. That's American Black Walnut, a beautiful finish. Now if you're interested in the angle trainer, you can get it off my website, RobCosman.com. We'll be happy to send you one out. It will give you the confidence that you need to be able to start sharpening freehand. Allow it to help you set that angle those first few times, and in no time at all you'll be able to do it totally freehand. I hope you enjoy your time in the shop. Remember, sharp tools make it so much more pleasurable. Good luck, hope to see you back soon.